New angle, woo! What's up, goobers and goobettes? DenDenBMX here. This is a 2014 Epiphone Les Paul Custom Pro. I bought this guitar back in 2020, but I sold it in 2021 to my friend Jager. And it hadn't been cleaned since then, so I stole it back from him, and last week we made a video giving this guitar the cleaning that she desperately needed. And this is my 2020 Epiphone Les Paul Custom. And if you're wondering why this Epiphone Les Paul looks different, it's because I refinished it. I sprayed some tinted nitro lacquer over it. I made a video on it. You guys can go watch it. I'm leaving a note to future me to put it somewhere in the video. And since I've got them both here with me, we're going to be comparing old Epiphone to new Epiphone today. Real quick, I just want to say thank you guys for all the recent love and support you've shown me on all my videos. It truly does get my heart stiffer than a priest on Sunday morning. As always, if you guys go on to enjoy this video, definitely let me know and help the engagement on this video by leaving a like, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts and opinions, share the video around. And if you regularly watch my channel and you haven't already subscribed, well, you can gargle my ball sack, you little meanie, because we're on the road to 20,000 subs and any help towards that is greatly appreciated, but I'm done being a tool. So there's been a few different iterations or generations of Epiphones, you could say, and we're going to focus on the two most recent ones. So like I said a second ago, this one is a 2014 Epiphone Les Paul Custom Pro. You can see it's got the older Epiphone headstock. It's got the smaller diamond inlay, which is literally the one thing that I don't like about this headstock shape, is that they just can't fit the full-size diamond inlay on it. That's kind of like the only downside I have with this guitar, like at all. So yeah, this is from the past like 2010s era of Epiphones. So this is from the like Jeskowitz era of Gibson, and after the Jeskowitz era went bankrupt and they sold Gibson, the new owners bought both Gibson and Epiphone and they revamped both Gibson and Epiphone. So I guess you could say this Epiphone Les Paul Custom is from the new JC/Caesar era. As you can see, they switched to the original Kalamazoo Epiphone headstock, and since this headstock is wider, they can finally put the full-size diamond inlay on Epiphones. Like the one thing that I felt like I was missing with old Epiphone Les Paul Customs was just the full-size diamond inlay. But now that the new Epiphones come with the full-size diamond inlay, I'm good. I don't need anything else. Maybe if they come out with an open book headstock version of the Epiphone Les Paul Custom, and maybe if it comes in an aged white like this, I just might have to turn into one of those poor suckers spending $1,500 on an Epiphone. It's gonna hurt, but it's marginally better than like $5,000 for a Gibson one. And again, like I mentioned a second ago, I did refinish this guitar. I only really say refinish because it's faster to say. Really, I just spray painted nitro over the paint job that it already had. And I used a nitro clear coat that was tinted yellow. And as you can see, this guitar now looks like it has sat right next to me while I've chain smoked every second of every day for the past 28 years. And I personally love that. But I also really love just the stock brand new Alpine white version of a Gibson Les Paul Custom. I think that looks just as snazzy. But this one is from 2014, so it's now 10 years old. And even though these Epiphones come with a thick poly finish over them, they still do age. It just takes a lot longer. So after 10 years, this thing is still pretty white, but it's starting to turn a bit more of a bone color. And as you can see, the binding on this guitar has creamed out a lot more than just the rest of the paint job. But I'd say 10, 20 years from now, this guitar is going to end up a really nice cream color. So let's get on to comparing the specs of these two Epiphone Les Paul Customs, and let's see what all has changed between the two generations of Epiphone. So we'll start off with the 2014 Epiphone Les Paul Custom Pro. Just like every other proper Les Paul, this guitar has a mahogany body and a mahogany neck. Now, when I was researching the specs on this guitar, I ran into a bit of a kerfuffle. You see, some websites were saying that this guitar came with just a mahogany body, and some other websites were saying that this guitar also had a maple veneer over it. And if it does, I don't really know why. Like, normally veneers are for like flame tops, but this is an opaque finish, and I really don't think putting a veneer of maple that's like the thickness of a pube on top is going to do anything to change the tone. So part of me wants to say that it's just a mahogany body, but it very well could have a maple veneer on it. I don't know why it would, because I really don't think it would do much for the tone, but it might have one. These older Epiphone Les Paul Custom Pros come with rosewood necks. They come with a Graphtec new bone nut. Again, they come with the older generation Epiphone headstock. And then, of course, it comes with the Grover tuners, which work very, very well. The only downside to these these tuners is that they just use the disgusting kidney button shape for some reason. This guitar comes with a lock tone tailpiece and just a regular tune-o-matic bridge. And this guitar comes with Epiphone's Pro Buckers. And since this is a Les Paul Custom Pro, it comes with coil splits on the bridge and on the neck. And if you put it in the middle position and you flick up this tone knob, it's got a phase inverter in there as well. You know how Epiphone's got that $1,500 greenie out now? And like the whole gimmick of that guitar is that in the middle position you can get the Peter Green out of phase thing? You've been able to get that on Epiphones for a real long time. And it didn't need any special pickups, it just needed a push-pull pot. And it, you know, wasn't $1,500. The neck shape on this guitar is Epiphone's Slim Taper D shape. And since this is the older generation of Epiphone, this Slim Taper D is very flat in the middle. So that is the 2014 Epiphone Les Paul Custom Pro. Now for the specs on the 2020 Epiphone Les Paul Custom. This guitar also comes with a mahogany body and a mahogany neck. But I know for a fact that this one doesn't have a maple veneer on it, because why would it? One of the biggest changes they made on these new Epiphone Les Paul Customs was they switched to the proper ebony fretboard so that it is accurate to the Gibson Les Paul Custom, because those very rarely come with rosewood necks. And a switch to ebony on the fretboard is a change that a lot of people have been waiting for a long time. Again, this comes with the new, older Epiphone Kalamazoo headstock, and it comes with the full-size diamond inlay, which is a big plus towards this guitar. Again, this also comes with Grover tuners. The kidney button shape is ugly as sin, but it works. The newer versions also come with a Graph Tech nut. The new Epiphones also come with the lock tone stop bar tailpiece, but they also come with the lock tone tune-o-matic bridge as well. So they both lock into place, not just the bottom one. And of course, this Epiphone Les Paul Custom also comes with Pro Buckers, but they are straight wired. They wanted it to be as close to the Gibson as possible, and back then people were kind of sick of all the coil splits and phase stuff that was coming on Les Pauls, and they wanted like just straight basic Les Paul wiring, and they gave them that on this guitar. So they're just normal Pro Buckers. There's no coil splits or phase inversion on this one. Oh yeah, and this Epiphone Les Paul Custom also comes with the Slim Taper D, but this one is not as flat on the back. And again, the only changes I've made to this guitar are just visual changes. Again, I sprayed the nitro over the poly finish on this guitar, so I don't think the nitro finish is going to make it more resonant or like change the tone in any way, because that thick poly finish is still underneath it, and that's what the wood is touching. And then the only other change I made to this guitar was I put the gold speed knobs on to just make it look a little bit more like Randy Rhoads' Les Paul Custom. But I think we have talked plenty about the specs of these guitars. Let's go compare them in the fun way and finally go play them. So that's going to wrap up the playing demo for these two beauties. I think both this old Epiphone Les Paul Custom Pro and this newer Epiphone Les Paul Custom sound great. When I was playing, I didn't really hear too many huge differences, except when I split the coils or did the phase inversion on this guitar. I'm probably going to hear the differences in post, but regardless, go down in the comments and let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think these guitars sound pretty dang similar to where it doesn't really matter? Do you think one sounds better than the other? Do you think one sounds significantly better than the other? Me personally, I don't think it could go wrong either way. I like the way both of these guitars sound, play, and look. There is one thing that comes on this Epiphone Les Paul Custom that I prefer over this Epiphone Les Paul Custom Pro. And I've already told you what it is. It's the full-size headstock diamond. That's what makes me prefer this guitar over this one. That's why I sold this guitar to Jager, because I bought this one and I really didn't feel like I needed this one anymore. But other than that, when it comes to the playability, the sounds, the looks of the rest of the guitar, I could go with either one. I really don't think it makes that much of a difference if it has an ebony or a rosewood fingerboard, especially since the rosewood fingerboard on this guitar is so dang dark. Like, it just kind of looks like an ebony fingerboard, and that's good enough for me. And I could take or leave the coil splits and the phase inverter. Like, it's fun to have, but I really don't use it that often. But overall, I'm a pretty dang big fan of both Epiphones. And like, from where I'm sitting, if you don't really care about the headstock shape or the size of the diamond inlay on the headstock, which is like a purely visual thing, if you don't care about that and you wanted to save some money, you could go for one of these older Epiphone Les Paul Custom Pros. Or if you like the full-size split diamond inlay, the newer Epiphone Les Paul Customs are damn good guitars too. Most of the time. You can still get a lemon from Epiphone. They still really got to work on their like quality control when it comes to like fret sprout, uneven frets, bad setup, stuff like that. Though that still happens on some Epiphones. I really hope that's still not happening on the $1,500 ones, but when you do get a good Epiphone, it's going to be a pretty dang good guitar. But I think that is going to wrap up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. Once again, if you did enjoy, let me know and help out this video by leaving a like, leave a comment, give me your thoughts and opinions on both of these guitars, share the video around, make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. We are on the road to 20,000 subs. Real quick, I want to give a huge shout out and a thank you to Cosmic Steez, A Horse Running, Jet, Solar Flare, Jan Chocolate, Bandage Knives, Sunil Verma, and Rob Heath. Those are the current channel members, and their support really does mean a lot. If you want to join these guys, get a shout out in my longer videos, get access to the members only videos, most of which are guitar videos, and just help support the channel in a bigger way, then you can go down there, click the join button. Tiers start as low as 3 schmeckles. But if you don't want to join a membership, you still want to help out the channel in that way, just as like a one-time thing, there's the super thanks button down there. It's like a little tip jar, but I am done being a tool. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.